Thank you, Constance. And first off, I'd like to thank the government of Brazil and the ILO for giving me this opportunity to share with you some of the transformation stories that we've had working with the community. I have some slides there. So I'm sharing with you the second phase of our project on Take Every Action for Children Now, or which we usually call in the Philippines, Teach Now. It's empowering communities to protect children from the worst forms of child labor. And this is drawn on the experience we've had in supporting the Philippine Time-Bound Program for the elimination of the worst forms of child labor. And just to make visible the invisible, I'd like to share with you a TV plug that we've played in the Philippines with the help of a celebrity advocate, and this plug had been played on TV during the phase of the project.
We pretend that the problem does not exist, but for so long, child labor has been putting the nation in crisis and the Filipino child's future in serious danger, believing that manual labor can end their poverty. Let's get real. Child labor exists, and poverty is never an excuse to brush aside the most basic right of every child, education. Call ABK Initiative on how you can be part of the solution.
So the project that we did was over 9 provinces in the Philippines, focusing on the identified the worst forms of child labor that would be in sugarcane plantations, mining and quarrying, pyrotechnics production, children in domestic work, deep sea fishing, CSEC, and also scavenging, as we have found that there had been more children also involved even in the rural areas in scavenging. So that's the map of the Philippines and the various forms of child labor in those areas that we tried to address. In sharing good practices with you, I would say that we had 4 criteria to call these practices as good practices. First, they had to be practices that strengthen capacity of children and adults. They have to be practices that strengthen systems to sustain people, empowering other people. This should also strengthen community structures and the protective environment for children, and that should promote children's rights. There are 3 cross-cutting strategies that has been done by the project. This would be organizing, capacity building, and mobilization of community-based social structures, organizing, strengthening, and mainstreaming of barangay or village children's associations, and partnership building. What do we mean by this? In organizing and building capacity of communities, we look at community watch groups, child labor education task forces from the village to the municipal level, developing children's capacity to speak for themselves and be part of the solution to their problems, and strengthening the village councils for the protection of children. Part of capacity building was popularizing the UNCRC, the ILO Conventions 138 and 182, and our local legislations. We also work with local government units with policy rights shops to help them integrate all these conventions and national laws into local ordinances and programs. With children's participation, we are happy to say that we have helped develop child laborers to become child leaders, and some of them have been represented in higher levels of structures. Some have even run for elected positions in the youth councils. They've helped in the advocacy through Cheddar, and I'll be showing a little later children who had been trained by the Philippine Information Agency who became radio broadcasters and was given a weekly program by the local radio station. Partnership building is very important. We are in the areas for only the time of the project, but we believe that sustaining initiatives would be to get the people, the local stakeholders involved. So we work with national agencies of government, we work with local NGOs, the private sector, and communities. We developed partners among the parents, the children, and the teachers. And this led to access to programs and services to prioritize children and families that the project was assisting. Funds allocation was very important, and we were happy that a lot of local governments have also put aside funds for programs for children, especially after the project has left. We were also given partners who provided office space for our field staff, provided training venues for the awareness raising and the capacity building that we were doing with communities. So let me now share with you some of this partnership building. We also had in Bacolod a flagship project which was called the Battle Inn Academy and the Golden Field Academy. Golden Field is the red light district in that area. And together with the Department of Education, we were able to provide alternative learning services for those who were not functionally literate among the sex workers. I'll be sharing on 4 good practices, as Constance had mentioned, on education initiatives, livelihood interventions, advocacy and awareness raising, and monitoring. Under the education initiatives, the project was able to help 30,983 children in the project, mostly engaged and some at risk of the worst forms of child labor that I've shown earlier. Modules were also provided for alternative learning structures, and needs assessment was very necessary to conduct and address distinctive needs of children, as each child would have a different need. We had catch-up programs, and we trained teachers and even community volunteers who were called para-teachers, and some children who were also peer teachers. And a lot of children enjoyed the catch-up programs because they said the peer mentors were better than some teachers because they could talk to them as friends. We had the mobile schools, which we called the education kariton or education carts. We had the Bulilit educators and storytellers to develop reading among struggling learners. We also focus on the teachers and the special role that they play, and with permission from the Department of Education, we trained initially a core group of 43 teachers across the country, which then rolled out the trainings. And the beautiful thing about this is that the teachers became not just the mentors in the classrooms, they started to look at their role as researchers, researching on the issues of child labor in their schools and in their communities. And they became advocates as well, and they started building networks and also discussing with local governments. So towards the end of the project, we also had the Gawad Aklat, or the Anti-Child Labor Award for teachers, to recognize the valuable contribution of teachers, para-teachers, and little teachers. Under livelihoods intervention, through partnership building, the project was able to provide various economic opportunities to assisted children. And this is because we believe in keeping children in school, we also need to help their parents with supplemental income. We also developed community-managed savings and credit associations. And it was good to know that a lot of them continued even after the project has left the communities, because they were able to mobilize funds for their community, and some of them had taken out loans from their own money up to a 4th, 5th cycle. Under the advocacy and awareness part, we had fun runs, we had awareness campaigns, and all these efforts were done in collaboration with the local stakeholders. And one of the most exciting part of the advocacy and awareness is the role that children played as advocates themselves. And so I'd like you to listen to the voice of children.
Pero po bago ang lahat, kayo po ay nakikinig sa programang Tinig Bulilit, hatid ng World Vision Development Foundation sa pakikipagtulungan ng Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office.
Tulad ng mga beneficiaries ng Abaka Initiative sa mga barangay ng Babag at Pulong Buhangin at sa Himamaylan City, bumalik na rin sa pag-aaral si Annalyn Magalona na dating nagtatrabaho sa minahan.
Wala po kami pambiling bigas, kaya tinutulong po kami magtrabaho sa minahan po. Ang unang magsasalita, ikaw, Angel. Pangalawa, ikaw, Vilma. At pangatlo naman,
Yung tinig bulilit, nakakatulong yan kasi kumbaga sa ano yung mga kabataan na ilalabas nila yung mga hinaing nila. Kung bakit sila nagiging child labor, kung bakit merong ganon. Tapos naiaano nila, na ipaparamdam nila sa gobyerno na andito kami, kailangan namin ang suporta.
At ano naman kaya ang pakiramdam ni Annalyn bilang bahagi ng Tinig Bulilit?
gumaan po yung pakiramdam ko dahil na hindi na ako mahihirapan masyado na sa pag-aaral.
Hindi ko akalain nung una, pero dahil sa pagsasama-sama, ang daming programang nagawa ng Abaka Initiative para sa aming mga bata. Ang daming mga bagay na nagawa namin mga bata. Mga programang nagpalabas at nagpalakas ng aming mga tinig.
Doon po sa Tinig Bulilit na yon, tinatalakay po namin yung iba't ibang karapatan ng bata, yung mga usaping pambata, tapos po yung mga problemang kinakaharap ng mga kabataan ngayon.
Mga programang nagturo sa amin kung paano maging leader.
It's almost done. So that's bringing the voice of the children in this discussion. Something's wrong with the slides. The last practice I'd like to share would be on community monitoring. There. The Community Watch Group is a social structure organized in the community level, and they have helped us to monitor children, whether they're in school or in the places of work. They also help in identifying children who were in labor, and there were various roles that children, teachers, and community played. And I'd like to share with you that a number of our Community Watch Group have been so empowered that their neighbors also encouraged them to run for local councils. And we were happy that when they won the seats in the local councils, then we had advocates who would then pass ordinances and programs for the protection of children. So they do regular home visits and counseling, and they've started to refer cases not only of child abuse, but other forms of abuses like sex abuse and the like. They've also helped refer children for protective services. And just before ending, I'd like you to hear the voice of one of our parents who had been involved in Community Watch Group, because they are better advocates at the community level than any project staff would be.
Sinisiguro ng CWG na hindi na kami babalik sa pagiging child laborer. Pinapayuhan din nila ang ibang nanay at tatay na sa halip na sa mapanganib na trabaho ay sa eskwelahan nila kami papapasukin. Alam niyo ba, sa ibang lugar ng Abaka, bahagi na ang CWG ng BCPC. Sama-sama talaga ang lahat sa pag-alalay sa amin.
Particularly, parang naging pakialamero na yung mga tao sa buhay-buhay ng iba. Kasi, ang mga parents na na-involved, yun ba, meron na silang courage na magsabi sa ibang mga parents na, uy, pag-aralin nyo naman yung mga anak ninyo, huwag ninyong pahintuin. Uy, bawal yan, kasi makakasira yan sa health ng mga anak ninyo. Parang meron na silang guts ba? Meron na silang sense of, yun bang parang, not just to love their own children, but also to care for other children in the community.
Sinisiguro ng CWG na hindi na kami babalik sa pagiging child laborer. Pinapayuhan din nila ang ibang nanay at tatay na sa halip na sa mapanganib na trabaho ay sa eskwelahan nila kami papapasukin. Alam niyo ba, sa ibang lugar ng Abaka, bahagi na ang CWG ng BCPC. Sama-sama talaga ang lahat sa pag-alalay sa amin.
Particularly, parang naging pakialamero na yung mga tao sa buhay-buhay ng iba. Kasi, ang mga parents na na-involved, yun ba, meron na silang courage na magsabi sa ibang mga parents na, uy, Pag-aralin nyo naman yung mga anak ninyo, huwag ninyong pahintuin. Uy, bawal yan. Kasi makakasira yan sa health ng mga anak ninyo. Parang meron na silang guts ba? Meron na silang sense of, yun bang parang, not just to love their own children, but also to care for other children in the community.
Go ahead without the slides. Yeah, that's where I wanted to end, just some thoughts for reflection of how we can have communities like this one to really care for other children in the community. So these are just some thoughts for reflection with which I'd like to end the presentation. And thank you all for being in this semi-plenary. Imagine a world where all children are protected. Good afternoon.
Before we continue with our program,